so much, really works well on. This is one of the better maps for it, certainly. So we'll have to see how things turn out. Both players, White Raw looking a little bit flustered here. I gotta say, that game one, I think, really kind of took a toll on him.
Yeah, I think he gave, 200% in game number one there.
I think he did,
And then to lose to a single mistake is going to take it out of you. But White Raw is a player that will not let that affect him. We'll go into game number two, of course, just with everything and all that same effort.
That's right. Well, here we go, guys, on Antigua Shipyard, and down at the bottom right part of the map, in the pink from the Team Millennium, the winner of our first game, it is Stefano. And White Raw, both these guys so well-mannered. And up at the top of the map, in the red, playing Protoss from TT Sports, it is White Raw. And a probe. A probe coming out very early. Okay, just to put down the pylon. I was like, he's going a little bit farther than you usually see the pylon put down on this map. But
yeah, he's opted to actually go for a different kind of wall. And I mean, there's two different wall-ins with this. Is you can have the one that, of course, like we're seeing, involves the ram. But then you have the tight one at the back, which is a little bit more defensive here. Yeah. This one's actually a little bit more risky.
I'm surprised to see him do this one, actually.
Yeah, I don't know the reason for it. I mean, the one advantage I love through having this is just the amount of space you have on the natural here, is because if not, everything's kind of in the main. And if not on here, you can spread a lot out across the natural here. I wonder what Ryro's got, because he has to do something in this game. Whether it be a 2-base timing, whether it be +1 or anything along those lines. Special tactics may come out here. Stefano, though, isn't really going to change anything. We've got actually a 15 drone coming down, so there's a 15 spawning pool. So there's nothing really that's going to change from Stefano. He's just going to once again find what White Raw's going to do instead.
I feel like to a certain extent the way that White Raw has played against Stefano, both in the show match and then also in game one here, is kind of playing into how Stefano likes to play himself. White Raw likes to play a relatively passive game against Zerg lately, and that gives Stefano plenty of time to do his thing as well. I think some sort of strong 2-base timing would be the perfect thing that White Raw would need. Punish that early third from Stefano that we're probably going to see. Although, he is actually getting a gas this time, so we may not see quite an early third out of him.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Stefano never, ever takes a gas.
I know.
So this is a really big deviation from his play here, whether it be for his own aggression or whether it be for the more defensive purpose. But the thing is, on side of the defensive purpose, is that you can defend against anything. You don't need gas at this stage. So that, of course, pushes it towards aggression. He's going to get speed earlier. Not necessarily to go straight into roaches or anything, which actually could happen here. But of course, if he gets that speed, he's going to deny every form of scouting that White Raw can do, because the only form of scouting, of course, is going to be that probe and that zealot. But does he even get speed? That's the first question. Well,
a lot of Zergs will go into that roach play, break down the rocks outside the third, and then get that nice high ground position against their opponent's army. And by going for gas a little bit earlier, he may be able to kind of speed up that attack. It won't be quite as powerful, there won't be quite as many units with it, but it'll hit earlier, maybe at a timing that White Raw's not expecting. I wonder if that's possibly what Stefano is thinking here, because yeah, it's just very odd to see him kind of go away from his standard play. I think White Raw may be a little bit surprised as well when he comes up here and doesn't see the third or see the drone preparing to take the third quite yet.
Yeah, that White Raw's going to be like, wait, what? Why? Yeah. What? Because, this is 99% of games Stefano will do this, but what we're seeing now, he's getting speed. He hasn't stayed in gas, so he's not actually going to do any form of aggression. He's not throwing a Roach Warren or bailing us down. Yep. He's getting these links, and look at this, 12, 10 links are coming out. He's going to try and just run by, and also can do damage here, but this is incredibly risky from Stefano to do this, because it's going to be the wall in.
He scouts it, gets the probe in there, sees the gas, sees the spawning pool wiggling and stuff like that, so he should know that Zergling's speed is on the way.
I don't really know what he's trying to do with these lings. I mean, it's like a big, big waste here. I mean, of course he can punish anything if he tries to walk out. The only thing these kind of lings can do here in this scenario is prevent scouting. Just make sure that nothing leaves, not even zealots leave. Speed is about to be on, but look at that. A probe escapes. A probe actually escapes from the base of White Raw before the lings get there, and the lings don't even see that. So what really is this accomplished for Stefano? And the answer is nothing.
Yeah, well, it's accomplished using a lot of his minerals on lings instead of drones. White Raw, obviously. What?
Why is
Are
that
you
squeezing
kidding me?
through?
That zealot, I did not think that there was space there.
Force field.
Oh, he needs it.
Fine.
Yeah, okay, so he traps the Zerglings here, but A little bit of a scary moment there for White Raw. Wow, I don't even think Stefano was expecting to get in there.
And the probe got out too, so this is like a double
what
kind
a
of
strange
loss
game
here.
right now.
Now he sees it and he's like, all right, well, all right, Stefano, whatever. And, you know, that was a lot of money and resources lost. You can see in the units lost tab, he's lost more resources than White Raw, and that's pretty bad. But, I mean, he did force a double cancellation. I mean, that is a bit of money back, I suppose.
Yeah, he also did get to see the Forge anyway. I mean, he didn't need to make anywhere near as many links to see that, but at least he does have that information now. He knows that +1 is probably on the way here.
Second gas going down for Stefano, too.
This is
so,
odd.
I mean, you know, this is, I mean, the second gas is just it's kind of a regular timing. If you look at the time, it's like 7 minutes. So, you know, he's got the gas early from the first one, and now he's like, all right, well, now let's get the second one on a kind of similar timing. It would have been down anyway.
You know,
it's just a little bit later.
I have this feeling, even though Stefano's putting down this Roach War in the Evo chamber right now, I have this feeling that he wants to go Mutalisks in this game. I can't quite explain it, but just the way he's been playing is kind of making me think Mutalisks here.
Look at this. We see a bunch of extra gateways being added on. We have 4 in the main and 3 on the natural here. So this is, of course, going to be a lot of heavy aggression coming out from White Raw with +1 attack. And, you know, that probe. How did this probe get out? You know, this is something Stefano should never have allowed. Now there's a pylon on the right-hand side of the map, which, of course, units are going to come from here. And Stefano, a couple of mistakes in this game, really uncharacteristic.
Yeah, it's almost like he's underestimating White Raw a little bit. I think after his show match, he was like, this was so easy. I'm just going to walk right over White Raw, and it's not turning out quite like that. Game 1 was very challenging for him in Game 2. You know, we're still seeing mistakes. +1 for the Roaches on the way. He's getting his lair now as well, taking a macro hatch at his third base, but White Raw is going to come with this big push here very, very soon. Oh, 1 gateway, though, not turned into a work gate.
There's a big mistake by that probe. Actually, it wasn't spotted on the screen, but there was. It doesn't matter anyway. But double pylon's now coming down, and he's going to get into this to the base. He can actually like force field himself in and then warp in once he gets vision there when the pylon's complete. And this is really good for White Raw.
Yeah, absolutely. Stefano does not have many units at all right now. The Roaches can't get in. Force fielded off that third base is at risk, and now the warp-ins begin.
And Stalkers are coming in, of course, because Roaches are coming, but he has to keep this ramp just completely blocked. If these Roaches get in and the reinforcements get in, this could still get pretty sticky for White Raw, but he does have 7 gateways backing this up.
Trying to force a cancel on the Nexus. Oh, a couple of Roaches do get in, targeting down the sentries. They get 1 sentry. They're going to get a second one potentially. Nope, just barely lives.
There's no more force fields though, that's it. The force fields have gone now, but there's still way too many units. With +1 Zealots, they're ripping apart the Zealots. Zergling, sorry, there's not enough units here, I feel. White Raw coming out with an aggressive build, catching Stefano off guard here.
Look at that with the Zealots buffering as well. The Stalkers are going to do so much damage. It looks like at the very least, Stefano is going to lose this third base.
It's still very tight, though, because once the Zealots go down, of course the Lynx can get in here. 8 more Roaches are coming. Stefano not missing a beat on Lava Injects. He is still mining from this third base as well. You have to keep in consideration. Finally gets pushed away, but now with this third base going down, White Raw just has to keep building units, get these sentries back in, get these units back up, build a nice ball of units, and then look to combat again.
It's just amazing because I can't believe Stefano sent those drones in for just another little bit of mining time. That's why he's so good. He gets every little ounce out of everything here, and that third base, though, is certainly going to die, and that is going to be a great position for White Raw. Wow, it's such a strong army too right now.
He's taking gases behind this as well, though, so he isn't staying on this. And Stefano is building so many spine crawlers, he knows he could lose the game. And White Raw's going to go up, see the spine crawlers, and I'm even worried if he's going to engage here. Maybe he can get in there before the spine crawlers finish.
And the spine crawlers do finish. This is Stefano's last hope here. He needs to push White Raw back if he wants to have any chance of winning this game.
Oh, he's taking a lot of damage here, White Raw. The spine crawler's doing so much. White Raw, I don't think should be fighting here. He should really be backing up because now he's going to lose his army advantage. Has to use the defensive force fields. And that's, I mean, of course, Stefano's still okay on 2 bases, but White Raw losing so much.
He got some of the sentries with the spine crawlers, and the creep spread from Stefano has prevented White Raw from warping in close enough to really make this work. Yeah, so White Raw, I mean, he still, you know, was able to kill that third base, but he kind of gave a lot of that advantage right back to Stefano with that push.
Imagine if he went there before the spine crawlers finished, then backed out, then went back to take a third base with that army, those sentries that are ever so important. But now he actually, it's going to be very difficult to take a third base. He doesn't have the sentry count, he doesn't have the gas, and now Stefano has kind of neutralized the situation here by mistakes from White Raw.
Yeah, and this army is going to be able to easily push back White Ra. Yeah.
I mean, as long as he keeps fighting on creep, he's going to be absolutely fine. I mean, he's looking for an opportunity here. Wasted force fields again there, so he's going to be able to get in. Look at there is no force field, so of course Zerglings get straight into the fray.
Yeah, and the Zealots, do take them down in one hit because of the upgrades, and the Stalkers, they're, he's targeting down the rest of the sentries here. And as long as he does, he should be just fine. Yeah, he just plain has too many units for White Ra to handle right now.
Oh, I can't. White Ra's just made a colossal mistake here in this game. I mean, he's bringing in reinforcements, but there's so many units coming.
He can't win this fight.
This is just so bad. Look at the Roaches now tearing through the Zealots. Will go to the Stalkers, and then once this is cleaned up, of course the pylons will follow next. Then where does this leave White Ra? He's back on 2 bases still with 3 sentries and a mortal in his base. Stefano has his 3rd up again. He can drone towards the 3rd base and go back to a winning scenario.
Stefano, though, so amazing to just have the presence of mind to put down all those spine crawlers. You don't even see that from a lot of the top Zergs. They just are like, oh, I'm just going to try to defend with like 1 or 2 spines like I always have, and whatever units I happen to get at the time. But Stefano, with just that immediate reaction, no hesitation in what he needs to do in every single situation in the game. So many other Zerg players would have crumbled under that.
Yeah, no, Stefano just so patient, so composed, knows exactly what he needs to win the situation he's put under. And we do have a Warp Prism coming out, so White Ra knows that he can't take a 3rd base. He has to do something with the money he has now. He cannot invest in anything long-term, and Stefano is building 10 drones right now. So if we can see White Ra maybe try to get out, but look at the spread of units. He's never going to be able to leave that base.
Yeah, taking a 3rd is going to be nearly impossible here. He's trying to go for Colossus tech, it looks like possibly. A little bit of a Zealot drop coming down towards the main base. That may be able to do some damage, but this has got to be such a frustrating series right now for White Ra. To kill the 3rd, have that advantage, then accidentally kind of throw it away there a little bit. And now Stefano, he can do really kind of whatever he wants at this point. As long as he plays safe, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, the Warp Prism is coming into the main now. There's absolutely nothing there. But what White Ra's trying to do is get the Colossus out and then take a 3rd base. Yeah. But it's going to be so difficult to take that. Almost impossible. But the Warp Prism now undetected so far and is going to get into the main and will start to do damage.
And here we go, the Warp Prism dropping off the Zealots right in the mineral line. Oh, but there's already Roaches there as well. Might be able to target down something. Nope, just picks up and runs away. So the Warp Prism, at least it gets away. At least he didn't lose anything out of that, but not able to do any damage at all to Stefano right now.
And even without Corruptors or anything, it doesn't matter that much because there's only going to be 1, 2 Colossus maybe, and that will just get so easily surrounded by Roachling in the center of the map because there isn't enough force fields available to surround completely time after time. And Stefano, of course, can bait out force fields a lot of the time here as well. And the Warp Prism now heading towards that 3rd base. There are a couple of spine crawlers getting deployed there, but it will get in before once again.
Yep, I don't know if they're quite going to be burrowed in time, but the Roaches have no problem at all. They're in creep, they've got speed.
Yeah, that's just not working, is it? Yeah. It's really not working here. And, the spine crawlers, the ones that he built to defend the natural, now being spread to defend the main, to defend the 3rd from this, of course, inevitable Warp Prism drop. But, no, White Ra's trying to move out now. He's getting ready. Thermal Lance isn't done, though.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit hesitant about moving down the ramp into that, too.
The observer's
look at that.
Guys, this is going to be tough.
Yeah, about 80 supply ahead right now for Stefano. He picks off the probe, going to maybe think about taking a 3rd here. And the upgrade's pretty good, too. +2 missile attacks right now on those Roaches.
And 2nd Colossus comes out, and he has to move down.
He's going to try,
He can't stay on 2 bases. Maybe he's going to wait for a 3rd and then go for it, but that's so much time. And the Warp Prism, again, is shut. He did cancel the hatchery and then rebuild it immediately there. Yeah. And Stefano has just regained control of this game, but once again, you could say that White Ra had this game in his grasp.
Oh, he did. It's the 2nd game in a row now where he was in a great position. Here comes the move down. Huge surround from Stefano. Good force fields from White Ra, but it's just not enough, like we said. Not enough energy on those sentries here. Looks like White Ra just getting overrun.
Yeah, and he has to move down eventually and get shut down when he tries. Of course, Stefano setting up that trap, and White Ra has the Warp Prism in the main base, doing a bit of damage, but more importantly, is about to lose everything.
120 supply ahead right now for Stefano, running right into the natural expansion. Nothing White Ra can do about it. He's going to go into the main even maybe with some of these. Yeah, he's going to target down everything. Well, anything he wants to, really.
And unfortunately, GG. I tried my best. Call from White Ra.
Yep.
And Stefano picks up the 2 win, man. He picks up the 2-0 win.
Well, you know what? You really can tell that White Rod tried his best. He really made it, I would say, a